Commander Zethkar of the Vraxian Imperial Fleet had spent 3 solar cycles studying the dormant world they called Terra 3. The planet hung in space, like a blue-green jewel, deceptively peaceful, its surface scarred with ancient cities that pulsed with minimal energy signatures. According to the Galactic Archive, this was humanity's homeworld, a species that had vanished from the cosmic stage nearly 2 millennia ago. Primitive technology, his science officer Yul Theta reported with disdain. Chemical propulsion, electromagnetic communications, nuclear fission. They barely achieved interplanetary travel before going dark. Zethkar nodded, his 4 eyes scanning the tactical displays. The Vraxian Empire had conquered 17 star systems in the past century, and Earth would be the 18th. Its strategic position at the junction of 3 major hyperspace routes made it invaluable, and the dormant human settlements would provide excellent mining colonies. Deploy the Awakening Protocol, he commanded. Begin planetary bombardment of major population centers. Standard procedure, shock them into submission, then negotiate surrender. The first plasma lance struck what their records indicated as New York. The ancient skyscrapers vaporized in brilliant flashes, sending shockwaves across the continental landmass. Then came London, then Tokyo, then Mumbai. Each strike was precisely calculated to demonstrate overwhelming power while leaving the infrastructure largely intact. But something was wrong. Instead of the expected chaos and desperate communications, the planet's energy signatures began to surge. Not the panic spike of a primitive civilization under attack, but something else entirely methodical, coordinated, ancient. Sir, Yul Theta's voice carried an unusual tremor. I'm detecting massive power fluctuations across the planet. It's as if they were waiting for us. Deep beneath the Swiss Alps, in a facility that predated recorded history, Dr. Sarah Chen felt the mountain shake as the orbital bombardment began. Around her, consoles that had remained dark for 2,000 years blazed to life with holographic displays showing orbital trajectories, enemy ship specifications, and tactical assessments that made her breath catch. Protocol 7 is active, she announced to the Emergency Council that had materialized from hidden bunkers across the globe. The Sleeper Protocol. They finally came. General Morrison, his face grim with understanding, activated the global communication network that humanity had hoped never to use. All stations, this is command. The long sleep is over. Begin Phase 1 Awakening. Across Earth, in facilities buried beneath mountains, hidden in ocean trenches, and camouflaged within extinct volcanoes, the true face of humanity began to reveal itself. The primitive cities above had been elaborate facades, maintained by automated systems, while the real population slumbered in cryogenic suspension, their consciousness linked to quantum networks that spanned the globe. 2,000 years ago, humanity hadn't disappeared, they had made a choice. After the Andromedan War, after they had inadvertently exterminated 3 alien species in what their enemies called the Terror, humanity had collectively decided to sleep, to let the galaxy forget them, to let the legend fade until they became myth, then fairy tale, then forgotten entirely. They had never been primitives. They had been apex predators pretending to be sheep. Commander Zethkar watched in growing horror as his tactical displays updated with impossible readings. The primitive cities were revealing themselves as elaborate camouflage for weapon systems that should have been theoretically impossible. Gravitational lances capable of crushing stars. Quantum disruptors that could unweave matter at the subatomic level. And rising from the ocean depths ships. Vast, impossible ships that seemed to bend space-time around them. "Sir?" his communications officer screamed. Incoming transmission from the planet's surface. The face that appeared on their screens was unremarkable an elderly human woman with gray hair and tired eyes. But when she spoke, her words carried the weight of civilizations. "This is Dr. Sarah Chen, speaking for the Terran Collective. You have approximately 30 seconds to withdraw from our space before we demonstrate why the galaxy chose to forget us." Zethkar's mandibles clicked in what his species considered laughter, though it came out strained. "You threaten us with your ancient weapons? We are the Vraxian Imperial Fleet. We have conquered 17 systems," Dr. Chen interrupted calmly. "We know. We've been watching. You've been efficient, methodical, and relatively merciful by galactic standards. Under normal circumstances, we might have even approved. The first human ship breached the atmosphere, a kilometer-long vessel that shouldn't have been able to achieve orbital velocity, yet moved with impossible grace. Zethkar's sensors couldn't even categorize its propulsion system. These are not normal circumstances," Dr. Chen continued. "You attacked our temple while we were sleeping. You disturbed our peace. And now you've reminded us why we went to sleep in the first place. The human ship didn't fire weapons. It simply existed near the lead Vraxian dreadnought, and the massive war vessel began to come apart at the molecular level. Its crew teleported to safety moments before their ship became expanding clouds of constituent atoms." "Impossible," Yul Theta whispered. More ships were rising now, each one a masterpiece of technology that made the Vraxian fleet look like crude clubs wielded by children. But it wasn't just the ships, it was the coordination, the precision, the terrible, beautiful efficiency of a species that had mastered war so completely they had voluntarily removed themselves from it. "You wanted to conquer Earth," Dr. Chen said, and now her tired eyes carried something that made Zethkar's 4 hearts skip beats. "But Earth was never humanity's limit. Earth was our restraint, our reminder of what we were before we became what we are." The quantum networks that linked human consciousness across the globe began to sing with shared memory, the memory of the Andromedian War, when humanity had first learned that their particular genius for violence was not normal, not acceptable, not something the galaxy could survive if left unchecked. They had won that war in 6 months. They had spent the next 2,000 years trying to sleep away the guilt. "Withdraw now," Dr. Chen said, her image flickering as power diverted to systems that would have seemed magical to any other species. "Return to your empire. Tell them that the humans are awake again and that we are trying very, very hard to remember why we chose to sleep." Commander Zethkar looked at his remaining ships, 12 dreadnoughts, reduced to 6 in as many seconds, his crews unharmed but thoroughly outclassed. The tactical displays showed human vessels moving through space, as if the laws of physics were polite suggestions, weapon signatures that registered as impossibly dangerous on every scale his instruments possessed. "Sound a retreat," he whispered. As the Vraxian fleet limped toward the edge of the system, Dr. Chen closed her eyes and felt the weight of her species' collective consciousness. They were awake now, all of them, their minds linked in the quantum network that had once been their greatest achievement and their greatest shame. "How long?" asked General Morrison. "Until we sleep again?" Dr. Chen opened her eyes, watching the alien fleet disappear into hyperspace. "Depends on whether they spread the word or come back with reinforcements." "And if they come back?" Dr. Chen looked at the tactical displays, showing human ships that could end civilizations with a thought, weapons that could rewrite the fundamental constants of reality, technologies that had been deliberately suppressed because they were too dangerous for a universe where other species existed. "Then," she said quietly, "the galaxy will remember why they let us sleep." Above them, Earth's defense grid hummed with power that could crack worlds, while beneath their feet, 10 billion humans stirred in their cryogenic sleep, their dreams filled with memories of why they were sleeping war gods, and why someone had just been very, very foolish to kick down their temple door